Your prank calls aren't gonna scare me, pal, okay? Something's been bothering me, and it always has since my grandma told me. The cops said Peter did it. And for years, my grandma said the same, but I think she started to have doubts. Who the hell is this?
What's going on, everybody? Good evening. I don't normally do these shows in the evening. It is, what is it? It's Tuesday, May the 25th, 2021, 7:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to episode 175 of MCRAE Live. It's hard to believe I've done 174 of these shows. Most of them are probably all right. There we go. Welcome, everybody, to the show. This is episode 175 of MCRAE Live, and it's a big week for us here. You know, everybody that was involved in the making of It's Me, Billy, of course. The world premiere was this past Saturday, which was amazing, and you know, so far the feedback from everybody that has seen the movie has been overwhelmingly positive, and that doesn't mean that there's not going to be somebody or a few people or a bunch of people that watch and go, yeah, it was okay, I don't know. You know, I mean, that's just what happens when you release your art to the world. But the good news is that we're out of the gate with a hop, skip, and a jump. So that's always nice to know. And on the show today, I wanted to bring the ladies of It's Me, Billy on the show with my buddy Bruce, of course, too, who's going to be joining me here. And we're going to be talking It's Me, Billy. We're going to be talking about the movie. No spoilers, of course. No spoilers. Get your questions ready, whatever questions you have. But bear in mind that we cannot divulge spoilers. We're not going to do that until after Friday. I'll probably get them back on again in the very near future, and then we can have sort of a spoiler discussion about the movie, which I think would be a lot of fun as well. But without further ado, let's move over to the other screen and bring them on. Victoria, Shelby, Bruce, Malaika, how are you guys doing?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
It's good to see you guys. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Malaika, let's start with Malaika because this is kind of exciting. So Malaika was unable to attend the world premiere because Malaika, the busy bee she is, was on set, I believe, shooting another horror movie, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Now, did you sign an NDA? Are you allowed to tell us what that was, or is it kind of hush-hush right now, or?
A little hush-hush, but it's a very fun kind of social commentary horror film, so I'm excited for it to come out.
Okay. All right. Cool. I totally understand. Got to kind of, you know, keep it under wraps. Got to keep it under wraps.
It's called Fresh Meat.
It's called Fresh Meat.
Fresh meat? That's great.
I like that. So you were unable to attend, obviously, because you're a busy bee and you're a working professional, you're an actress, and you were working hard and doing your thing. So you have now seen the movie finally. You watched it this morning. No spoilers. But what were your thoughts? You watched it. How did you feel about it? What did you think?
It was everything I expected it to be and more. Just everything, like all your visions that you wanted for this film, it just came to life, and we all agree on it too. I was texting the ladies today and we're all just talking about it. I'm just so excited for everyone else to see it. It was so much fun. Yeah, I'm speechless. It was just so great.
That's good. That's
cool.
Good. I'm glad because, you know, Shelby brought up a good point at the premiere the other day, which was, you know, you never really quite know. And I can understand this, having, I mean, I've spent most of my career behind the microphone, but very early on in my career, I began as an on-camera actor, and I did commercials, docudramas, things like that. And so I do know what it's like to perform in front of the camera. And I totally understand when you see yourself, you can, or when you're on set, it's a much different experience than seeing it come together. And so, you know, you're always grateful and appreciative when your actors can see it and go, yeah, this is come together. You know what I mean? And so that's really cool. Really, really cool. Bruce, how are you doing?
I'm great, man. Yeah, this is awesome. And I want to say welcome, ladies. It's great to see you again. It's great to connect. And great to see you, Dave. Like, you know, brother from another mother, as always. Like, it's you know, it's good times, man. And I'm, you know, I've been seeing we've had some fantastic feedback from the other YouTubers in the space, in the community, and thank you and shout out to all of those people. You know, in traditional fashion, you know, there's an opportunity for some folks to have VIP access, if that's a fair way to put it. Just like we had the VIP screening on Saturday, and you know, the feedback that we've gotten, the initial feedback is definitely more than what I was expecting. Like, I wasn't quite sure what to expect personally, and so it's super cool. It's humbling, and I'm excited for the rest of the world to see it, man. Like, this is. Yeah, we've taken it next level for us anyway. That's for sure. So
It is.
I'm excited about that.
You know, and what I appreciate about some of the channels that I've sent it to is that, yes, I would say that there are certain channels I've sent to that I am friends with. There are certain channels that I've sent to that I'm friendly with. But, you know, make no mistake, if they didn't like the movie, they would say it. They would say it. They may not jump on social media and say it, but they would say to me, "Hey, listen, Dave, you know what? You put your heart and soul into it, but you know, I got to be honest, I wasn't crazy on it, or I thought about this, or I thought about that." And that's because these are content creators, and they take that kind of thing very seriously, you know, and you know, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And well, I mean, not all the time, obviously, that's a generalization, but I just mean that more often than not, it's how you approach something. And to know that, you know, I've spoken to some of these people privately, away from social media, and they've said, like, no, like, sincerely, this was unexpected. You know, and that's great. And the compliments that you three have been getting, like I said to you before we went live, have been, what's the saying? Off the chain? I don't know. I'm 42 now. I don't know if that's even the right saying. I learned that from Bruce. Bruce said it to me one time, and I was like, is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? Because when your chain comes off your bike, it's kind of a shitty thing. You know, I'm like, that's not really, like, I don't know if that's good, because you fall over. It sucks
when the chain comes off your bike.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I didn't know.
It sucks because you can't ride it.
But see, I learn a lot of today's lingo through Bruce, because Bruce has two kids that are like, what, they're 17 and 20, right?
Yeah.
So I learn a lot.
They keep me up to date.
I was just gonna say, so you'll say shit to me and I'm like, what? And you're like, no, this is what you got to say now. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. All right, cool. I'm in. So, Victoria, tell me your first impression thoughts when you saw the movie the other night at the world premiere. Your parents were also there, which is awesome. Shout out to your mom and dad, by the way. Your mom and dad have been such, and I don't want to embarrass you, I'm just saying they've been huge supporters, and I can totally tell they are very proud of you. And shout out to Chris and Jill Mero, because I think you guys are awesome. Sincerely, it's wonderful. But I mean this because when you work in this business, when you work in the industry, having that support system is so vitally important. And when you can have it from your parents, especially, is huge. I know I had that from my mom. And that was a big part of my success, was the belief that my mother had in me. So it's amazing to see. I recognize it, I pick it up immediately, and it's genuine for sure. So just wanted to say
that. They're watching right now, so they probably heard all of that.
Sorry, Victoria.
Yeah, they're very supportive. They got me a little "It's Me, Billy" t-shirt as well. They were like, why aren't you wearing it tonight? So maybe I should have put it on. But yeah, my initial thoughts were, I just remember watching it and just being like I had everybody on Zoom at the side, but then I just completely forgot about everybody. And I was just so involved in the film. Like I remember afterwards, Dave was like, was someone there with you? You look so serious.
Oh yeah, you
And
did.
I was so dialed in. I just didn't, like, I couldn't focus on anything else because it just, even though I was in it and I knew what was going to happen, there were still things that shocked me. And we talked about that a lot at the premiere as well. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but there were definitely things that I saw that made me really spooked or jumped me a little bit. And yeah, just the whole vibe, like Malaika was saying, like you guys keep saying you want it to be the same vibe as the 1974. Is that the right year?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Christmas? Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
But yeah, you really nailed the vibe, the whole thing. It was so eerie,
Cool.
and it was just, yeah, it was great to watch. And obviously it was just exciting because of all the hard work you both put into it. And just seeing the other ladies shine as well. It was really great. They killed it. So yeah, just the whole thing was a great experience. And it was really exciting. I'm excited for everyone to see it as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I know. We are.
Yeah.
We're pumped. Shelby in the top. I feel like this is Hollywood Squares. Shelby in the top right.
I enjoyed that show. It
Yeah,
was
I
fun.
did too. I remember when Elf was on there. You know, the alien Elf.
Yes.
I
Yes.
fucking love Elf. I still
That's
have
a
my
favorite
stuffed
show
Elf.
of mine too.
I
Yeah.
still have it. Yeah, Gordon Shumway. Shelby, what? Here it is, premiere. You've seen the trailers. You're about to watch it. It begins. You're watching it. What's rolling through your brain as you're watching it?
Oh man, just like I think the excitement about like everything to come, but also then trying to be like, no, just like enjoy in the moment. I really wish, by the way, that I could do this in like a good Elf impression because that would have been more appropriate. But I think just like there were multiple times when coming up to certain scenes, I would be like, oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, this is the scene. This is the scene.
Cool.
Just trying to like keep pace with and like enjoying every moment because there's so much excitement to come all throughout and like being a part of the whole process. It is very fun when you can sit there and go, oh, I was watching this scene, like I was sitting just behind the camera when this scene happened, or oh, we were in the other room and this happened and this happened. Like it's really exciting to be a part of the process, and I hope that when everybody watches it, they feel just as kind of included, because so many of you that are watching here tonight have kind of been a part of this process the whole time.
Right.
So even though you weren't there with us, I hope it still has sort of that excitement factor for you as well. But that was kind of my roller coaster along with just watching the film itself.
It's so cool
Very cool.
to hear that, because sometimes when you because as I said, Bruce was here beside me on my left, and he had a monitor up there. And then of course I have the big monitor here, and I have a monitor over here as well. You can see you guys on it there. You guys are on it there. And we were watching you guys over here, and watching you watch it. Sometimes it's hard to know what you're thinking of it. You know what I mean? Because you're sitting there and you're just watching it. We also know, you're actors too, so you're paying attention to performance, and we're like, wow, this just looks really intense. You know what I mean? So it's great to get that sort of that insight into what you were thinking as you were watching it. So, Bruce, anything you want to say? I have a few things, but I want to let you jump in here.
Yeah. No, it's just I can relate to what people are saying. No, I'm good at the moment. Like it's just super cool again to hear that experience. And I think as a director too, and I know you can relate, Dave, off of what Shelby was saying, even as directors, we see it in the moment. We can see it as it's being created on screen through the monitor, but then there's the entire process of creating it. And then, we get to see it in post and pull it together and connect all the dots and bring it together. And it's exciting. The whole life that it starts to take on when you get to cut those shots together. Because as directors, we're there, and we're directing the scene, and we've broken it down into its pieces. And it's kind of like reverse engineering, where, you start with the overall vision, what you want the scene to look and feel like and taste like and breathe like, and all of that. And then, you have to break it down when you're shooting for the logistics of shooting, and then in post it's like reassembling it and coming back at it from that other angle again, where you started. And so it's an interesting journey that way, I think, creatively, technically, conceptually. Yeah, a lot of conceptual work for sure. So I love it.
Yeah, the whole process is amazing in that regard. I totally agree. Something I wanted to ask the three of you is, I don't think I ever asked this, is when the first teaser was released on Christmas Eve. I know we kind of talked through text and that was great. But when you, and not that I don't believe you, but I just mean now there's an opportunity to sort of hear your thoughts. When you saw that first teaser, what were your thoughts? Victoria, we'll start with you.
Okay, I wasn't sure who should go first. We're all kind of waiting.
Do you remember the teaser?
Of course I remember the teaser.
No, I just want to make sure it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I remember the teaser. It was really, I just remember being not surprised because I knew how professional you were with it, but I just remember being, surprised isn't the right word, but it's the only word I can think of right now, about how professional it looked, because it looked like a real Hollywood trailer. The look of it, the camera, I love the drone shot in it. That looked amazing.
Yeah, shout out to Adam Gamble.
Amazing
job.
Yeah. It really showed how the film was going to be. I think it was a good representation of what it turned out to be. And it was really great watching it. It was so exciting. I was sharing it everywhere, obviously, but yeah, it was just really cool. I was impressed, I guess would be the right word, with how professional it was. And it just set the tone for the screening that we had a few days ago.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
yeah, I know. Dave and I we were so nervous to release that, because we knew that it would be the first real drop of anything, you know what I mean, like for the fans. And we were just really nervous to make sure that and we're very meticulous with it, to just try to get it the best that we could think to make it, knowing that it's going to be the first representation, first visuals that people see, first sounds that people see, and get them jazzed and excited. So yeah, that's cool to hear. Really cool to hear.
Well,
it worked. It really worked.
Here's a bit of trivia that I think Bruce and I think Bruce will feel okay with me sharing this now, because it's been nearly 6 months. But the teaser trailer that you saw on Christmas Eve, December 24th, was not the original teaser trailer we were going to release.
That's right.
And the original,
we
actually had another teaser trailer that we axed 3 days before Christmas Eve.
Yeah. It was a totally different cut.
Totally different cut. Totally different
scenes.
Different
shots, everything completely different.
And there's nothing wrong with it, obviously. In and of itself, there's nothing wrong with it. But we didn't feel it carried the punch that we needed for a first look at the movie. Yeah. And so, honest to goodness, what was Christmas Eve this past year? What, a Tuesday, Wednesday? Something like that, right? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Yeah, something like that.
I think it was the Saturday night before. So like 4 days before, Bruce and I were exchanging texts going, we just don't feel confident. You know, we're 4 days away. And we're like, and I said to Bruce, I said, listen, give me Sunday. I'm going to cut something. I have an idea. So Dave
was like a magician.
I went into the studio
like
here.
Fucking DJ.
And
shit.
I went in and I cut a completely different teaser. And Bruce came over, I think the next day, on the Monday, I think. So now we're 2 days away. And we were like, yes. And then we sent it to Greg for color. And he was like, yes. And then he did it and said about, honest to goodness, it was not for an entire month. I was working on a completely different teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Will we get to see it?
Possibly. I might, well, not publicly, but I certainly can show you guys. Yeah. I think I could show you guys. It's I can't say what it is right now, because it's a little bit of a spoiler. But when the movie comes out, we can talk about it. You know what I mean? But, I can tell you guys, after the show, but I mean live, you know. But yeah, completely different. So that's something that not a lot of people know. Completely, like literally 3 days before we cut that whole
Bruce
new
is
thing.
like, so it took us a month to put this one trailer together, and you did this in a day. Great.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? It's like sometimes I've had art projects like that where, you know, you're laboring over this thing and you're just, you know, but and you're trying to get it to work, and you get to that point where, you know, it's just not working, and there's something not quite right. You can't put your finger on it. And then all of a sudden, you know, you scrap it, and you just cut and mash something else together, and you're like, oh shit, okay, there it is, great, awesome. And you just roll with it, and
Yep.
and it was like 10 times better than whatever you were doing. And I think with it, when we did this, there was just a totally different flow of energy with it, you know. It
Yeah.
was just, it was super cool. And yeah. And when I saw it, I was like, yes, that's it, that's it,
Yeah.
that's it right there.
Yeah, Bruce sat here and was like, that's it. Because for like an entire month, we're like, yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Like,
And-
it needs a little something.
Yeah,
needs
we
a
had our
little
heart,
more.
but
Yeah.
we wanted it to work, you know, because we loved what we were using, the footage we were using, we loved. And it was our original idea for the teaser when we were shooting the film. We originally had this as our idea for the teaser, but it just wasn't translating well. It just wasn't wasn't quite doing what we needed it to do for a first look.
Right.
You know, the impact and whatnot. So what was I going to say? I had it at the top of my head now. I was going to say something. Well, let's start with Malaika. Malaika, what was the experience like? You've worked on set, ladies, and I want you guys to be totally honest. I know you will be. But you guys have worked on a lot of sets, including many sets since this project. You know, this was our, you know, first time doing this at this level, in this position. I mean, I've worked on set before. I've been on set before as an actor and things like that. But as a writer, director, and producer at this level with a crew and a cast and a big budget and I mean, you know, it's a small budget, but you know, it's a big budget. You know, if you've never done it before. And so it was exciting for us, and we did our due diligence to be prepared. But you guys have had more experience. You know, you've met, you know, you've been on many different types of sets, big, small, in between. What was the experience like for you guys working on this? And I mean, I kind of know what you're going to say, but for the audience out there that may not know what it was like for you guys, what was it like, Malaika?
It was so nice, you know, like some sets, it's just, you know, you go in, you do the work, go home. But with this one, we really felt like a family, you know, from the beginning, actually, not even just the end, of course the end, but, you know, all throughout we felt like family. Everyone was just so easygoing and easy to talk to. And that really does make a difference when you're working. It really does. And it helps you act. It helps you kind of get into a zone where you need to be in order to do the job that you want to do, and add some extra spice on that. You know, it was such a great experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Cool.
That's cool. That's really cool
Thank
to
you.
hear.
Yeah.
Shelby?
Yeah, I agree so much with everything that Malaika just said, so I will just sort of snowball on top of that. I think that this was such a cohesive group project, because as much as you and Bruce had a vision and you knew exactly what you want, and that made it super organized and made you guys super easy to work with, you also made us feel so included in the process. So it really just felt like it was a project that belonged to all of us, and not just sort of kind of like Malaika was saying, like us coming to work every day, or I guess in this case, like getting out of the set rooms and coming downstairs,
Getting out of bed.
you know, and like coming to work and being engaged in the scene, and then kind of going and sitting on your own. Like we were always talking about what we were doing next, what we had just done, on top of just getting to know each other. Like it really was just, it was very special. I don't know how else to say it, which I know you're saying, oh, be honest. But like truly, you don't have a lot of moments like that
on sets.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
And I don't mean to say
Cool.
be honest in you know, to insinuate that I don't think you will be. I just mean that to kind of just as an accent to say, you know, whatever you feel, just say it. You know what I mean? Don't sugarcoat it if it's like, you know what I mean? It's just a sort of an accent thing, but I trust you guys. And because you could feel it, you could feel the camaraderie and the connection and the, you know, and it was just so great too, to be able to even sit together and eat together, you know, and to sit at the table and share laughs and talk about our lives. And, you know, I mean, you guys told great stories about just you know, and who you are. And we weren't even talking about, you know, the movie and stuff. And yeah, it's easier to do that when you're in one location for a week. It's like summer camp. Not every set is like that, but I think it was an advantage we had that we took advantage of in a really positive way. And it was really, really cool that way, for sure. Victoria?
Yeah, I mean, exactly what everyone else is saying. I don't know how much else I can add. You guys really, you really got it for me. But I will say that sometimes when you're on set, and people might not know this listening, but sometimes you don't even talk to the director. He might, like the person, whoever is directing, might just give you a note and you don't really know how to read them. It's not really a collaborative environment. It's kind of intimidating. You get nervous and then you maybe don't perform as well as you hoped, but you also don't get good feedback, direction basically. And I just found with you and Bruce, it was just so collaborative, like we've been saying, but also your direction was just so helpful. Like I said in the premiere, sometimes during some more emotional scenes or some intense scenes, they would always take me to the side and they would prep me, check if I was okay. They were just the dream directors. And I'm not saying that to be, you know, you're the dream. It's true. You guys, it was really great. And just, yeah, it was now when I see you, it's like we're friends. It's not
For
like
sure.
you're my director. I see you and I'm genuinely like, how are you doing? How's it going?
Cool. Yeah.
Tell me about your life. So it was just a great experience all around. And obviously the girls and I hit it off right away, right as soon as we all followed each other on Instagram. It was very instant. So just the whole thing was an amazing experience on set. And it was just so, I wasn't intimidated at all. I wasn't nervous. I was made to feel very comfortable. Despite it being a very spooky house, it was a good vibe.
Right.
So
Cool.
yeah, it was,
Cool.
you did a great job.
Appreciate
Cool.
that. And, you know, I asked that
Yeah.
too, so our viewers know, but it's when we first asked you that, you know, I guess when we shot the movie, it was, I guess it was sort of our way of asking for that feedback, you know, because it was our first time stepping into this role at this level and doing this job, per se. It was kind of like, you know, getting kind of a, you know, a review, like, how did we do? You know, is there anything you think we could improve on? Or is there something maybe we missed that we weren't even aware of? You know what I mean? And things like that. So that's really important. It's really nice to hear that the cast and crew all, as far as I know, had a really good time. Because that's how you develop relationships and that's how you develop connections and wanting to work together again with people. And, you know, you always want to work with people who you respect, who you can talk to, who you can come to, who you're not afraid to speak to, because making a movie or a show or a play or whatever it is, it's a collaborative effort, you know, and if one person feels alienated for whatever reason, you know, it can be a horrific, table turner for sure.
Yeah. I can say, you know, Dave and I talked a lot about every aspect of this production as we were prepping. You know, it was a tireless effort, just constantly meeting every week. We would meet several times. We were talking every day. And the topic of leadership came up several times. And it was a very purposeful discussion that we had going into it, you know, drawing on our past experiences, but we found like other work experiences, but then pulling from that, transferring those skill sets, transferring, you know, what worked well in those scenarios to bring it forward. You know, where I work, I lead a department of staff, and you know, I can say coming into this project, it was very much the same like the same for me. Like as a manager, if I'm leading with people that, you know, it's coming into it in the same vein, if that's a fair way to put it, but seeing much more than that, because like you said, it's working with you as performers, it's working with you as people, and understanding your experiences and trying to draw that out and get you to incorporate that and draw from your experiences to bring it in and enrich your performance. And so it's great to hear that feedback of that you found the direction helpful and useful, because again, Dave and I really talked a lot about that, and you know, broke it down, and we found that we both naturally fell into certain aspects of that direction and giving that, and really complemented, like, you know, because we would do our own debriefs, right, and we were with ourselves, which I think every good team does, and it was very helpful for us through our process, like our creative process as directors. So that's super cool to hear.
Yeah, it is. You know, when you guys went to bed at, you know, 6 o'clock in the morning after dinner, we, myself and Bruce would often, and sometimes Greg too, shout out to Greg. Sometimes, but certainly myself and Bruce, we'd sit in the living room for another like 90 minutes and literally debrief, talk about the day, talk about, you know, how we think
what's
we
coming up
did,
the next day,
you know, how we can do better the next day, or, you know, whatever the case is, what's coming up the next day, what we need to do, you know, what we're going to tackle. So sometimes we didn't go to bed till like 8, you know, and because that's how seriously we took it. You know, we wanted it, you know, we wanted everybody, you know, cause you know, it's like you said, Bruce, I mean, being a director is, you are the leader of the group. And if you are not leading by example, or treating people with respect, and if you're not approachable and accessible, then what the hell's the point? You know, I never want to be the kind of person, and it's not in my personality. I don't think it's in my personality. I don't think it's in yours, where you're just that guy off in the corner that just says, yeah, go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that surprises me because I've worked on you know, a couple of commercials in particular that I remember the director being very distant, like you were mentioning, Victoria, and just really hands off, and it was more like, when I watched the dynamic, it was more of the first AD, or it was the DP that was actually giving the direction, not the director. And it was actually the DP or the first AD that was giving the vision, the directorial vision to the piece itself. And I found that very surprising, because my immediate reaction is, why is this individual even here? Like, you're not serving your purpose, so beat it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, there's like the role of the director, I think, is one that some people understand very, very well, and there are nuances and intimacies to it that you know, that people will know and recognize. And then I think that there's a lot of people who don't quite understand it as much, and understand those intricacies. It's a real blend, you know, of so many different skill sets, and so many different things. And wonderfully creative, I find. But you know, it's a position unique unto itself.
For sure.
But yet there are many aspects to it, I find, that, like, again, transferable skill sets, like things from other jobs that I've done, or other projects that I've worked on, that you know, there was just so much experience to be able to draw from. And it just made sense. And so, you know, hearing the feedback is positive, because it, you know, it validates that, you know, and it helps to
it validates and confirms, or it lets you know whether you were handling things right. You know what I mean? Or if you need to change your approach. I mean, that's really what it's all about, you know? So, okay, without spoilers, it's going to be tough now.
It's like, oh no, what are we going to ask?
Malaika, without spoiling anything, what would be your favorite moment in the movie? If you could say something without spoiling it. Or maybe your favorite moment is like, oh, I don't think I can say that. I think it's going to be too much.
Without spoiling it.
I know. Okay. I got an idea. Instead of that. If you could describe the movie in one word or one sentence, we're going to take it a sentence. One word or one sentence, what would it be?
One word or one sentence? Exhilarating.
Exhilarating. Cool. Ooh, fascinating. I like it.
I like that.
I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I like it. Very cool. Okay. All right. Shelby.
Don't want to go next. It's my turn already.
Okay, all right. Bruce, if you could describe the movie in one word or one sentence, what would it be? Although, yeah.
I'm going to say it's an exhilarating ride that is not going to disappoint Black Christmas fans. I think it's going to deliver.
It's a couple sentences
I think
now.
it's going to deliver.
We're under a paragraph. We're going on to a paragraph.
I'm repeating myself. I'm repeating. I'm done.
Okay, cool. So an exhilarating ride that will please Black Christmas fans.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Victoria.
I mean, the first thing when you asked for a sentence that came to my mind was what Malaika said, all set, you go, it's a vibe. And I just thought I'd bring it back.
That was so
It's
great.
a vibe.
I didn't even know that was a saying. And of course, why would I? You know, I'm out of touch. Malaika was saying it a couple of times on set. And then I was like, wow, a lot of things are a vibe here today on the set. I'm like, this is great. We're rocking
We got
it.
a lot of great behind the scenes footage of some vibe moments. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
There's
It's made its way into the BTS movie.
What's that thing we have where they all say totally splendid or something? Or what is it? Or
Perfectly splendid.
perfectly splendid. And then you guys say it. And I think, Shelby, you said it. And then the two of you turn and like, you said it. And Shelby's like, yeah, I know I said it.
It was such a wonderful moment.
Hated it. We would bug her so much with that.
What's that from? What is that from?
Haunting
Haunting of Bly Manor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for any of you who have seen it, these two said it more than it's said in the show.
Which was shocking.
Yeah, I was like,
You
I don't
wouldn't think.
remember.
Well, I just remember that we have that one clip where you guys are standing. I can't say where you all are because it's a bit of a spoiler, but you're in this room, and something happens where Malaika and Victoria say it perfectly splendid, and Shelby is saying it as well, but you can tell she's like kind of just like that kid that feels like she's got to say it, or like it's like this group of kids or something. It's like, it's perfectly splendid. It's like she wants to be a part of the group. And it's like, you said it. She's like, yeah, I said it. I just cares. It was just fun. It's funny. We got a lot of funny stuff. We got Victoria moonwalking. I mean, that's great. That was pretty dope.
It's a talent of mine.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Bruce can moonwalk, and he was the one that taught me how to moonwalk. And we used to go to our high school dances and moonwalk to Michael Jackson's Billie Jean.
Yeah,
Groovy.
In grade 10, there was so every year we had the Black History Month assembly, and so I auditioned for this, and it was a school-wide assembly, right? And so I auditioned, and there was a DJ in the school. I asked him to cut together a medley of Michael Jackson tracks, and I just handpicked it, did a rough cut, and then he was able to like blend it all together. And then I spent like hours and hours in the school hallways down near like the workout space, just choreographing and rehearsing the dance. And the moonwalk was in there, and trying to get the right shoes. I had to get like these, hard-soled loafers just to get them, and nailed it. And it was all about, so for anybody who's really interested, it's actually, you'll know that you're doing it right because the illusion should look like you're walking forward, but moving backward, almost as though you're walking forward on a conveyor belt. Like it should have that kind of that illusion. And it's actually more of, the number of hours I watched Michael do the moonwalk, like just, studying the shit out of that. And then I was like, he actually pushes off of the balls of his feet. Yeah. A lot of people will drag their feet. He is actually pushing, and then there's a momentum. And when you get it just right, then it starts to happen.
It's all about
magical.
Like this. I don't know if you guys see this. It's all about this foot is up, and it goes back, and then it comes back, and then it comes back, and then it goes back like this. When you taught me that, it actually, when you know the mechanics of how it's done, it's not that hard to get. But if you don't know how it's done, you spend a lot of time trying to figure that out. But once you, like when you taught me, you put your foot like this, you one up, one down, drag, up, down, drag, up, you know, and you just keep going back and back. I do it all the time in my kitchen now.
Yeah. And it's like really pushing off. Like you just got
That's
to
right.
push off and it's
That's right.
shifting of the weight.
It's
You're
fun.
pushing off
Yeah.
every time and you're pushing off and then pulling it up. It's like, yeah, I studied the shit out of that. It was so
great.
much fun.
Oh,
And then
We
so,
should-
yeah.
We should have had a moonwalk off.
Yes.
Yeah. I got to
A
rehearse.
competition.
Well, I'll tell you.
I'm ready to go.
If things
Rap
can
party.
be
We'll do
lifted
it there.
here in Ontario and we can all get together. I was going to say, if we can all get together and have an official rap party in person, because we were unable to do that up here. It's down, Victoria. It's down. You better start working on your moonwalk because it's happening. It's happening.
Okay.
It's happening.
Okay.
I don't know about you.
Sorry?
What's that?
I expect to be taught.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
100%. 100%.
We got
We're all
you.
going to do a moonwalk.
Yeah, we got
We're-
you. We got you.
And we're going to get it. We're going to shoot the It's Me, Billy music video. And
That would be
100%.
awesome.
It'd be awesome, wouldn't it? We're all doing the moonwalk down the street.
Yeah.
That'd be
And
great.
Dave and I own like those cell phone gimbals. So we'll bring those. It's
Yes.
going to be.
I have one. I have one
Yes.
too.
Bring it.
Perfect.
It's just
Yeah.
going to be off the chain.
It's gonna be not on the chain. Even though that's safer when it's on the chain. You don't want
I'll
something
stop.
to be off it.
I'll
Thank you, Bruce, for keeping me up to date. Today's lingo. Let me wait, did I finish? I said oh yeah, Shelby, one sentence or one word. The movie.
I really thought that I was gonna get away with that.
We bought you time. We bought you time.
That's right. That was the whole point of the moonwalk thing, was to buy you time.
Appreciate it. I guess I would have to say that if I had to sum it up in a brief sentence, I would say the thrill is perfectly
Oh God.
Yeah. You did it. You
We got to
should.
quote that and put it on an image.
That should be the quote on the Blu-ray. It should
like
say, "The thrill is perfectly splendid, Shelby Handley." That's right.
Yeah.
So
Put it on the
proud
front
of
cover,
you.
right at the bottom.
That's it. That'd be
I
funny.
know that must have been hard. You did it well.
She did.
took me a whole 10 minutes to come up with that one. So.
Well, you know, it's pretty good. Is a super chat.
The right words always take time to craft.
Super chat question comes in from Sean Sheridan, sends in 10 euros. Thank you, Sean, from across the pond, and says, for the It's Me Billy fund, Dave, I'm sure you will give us a worthy, maybe film it. I'm sure you will give us a worthy sequel to Black Christmas after after two crap remakes to an iconic slasher film, better than Halloween 78. Sorry, Dave, my opinion. Well done, crew. No problem, Sean. It's a strong opinion, but you are entitled to it. That's appreciate that very much. Appreciate that very much. Bud Gumperson sends in $23.45. Very specific. US. Thank you, Bud. Hey, everyone. You guys did a great job on the film. That's right. Bud was at the world premiere. The ladies really worked very well together. The movie may have only been 40 minutes, but felt like a full-length movie, but still left me wanting more. Very much enjoyed it. Thank you, Bud.
Awesome.
Really appreciate that very much. Very, very much. Where are the other ones here? We got Harry Hagan sends in $5 and says, Victoria, can you name the killer in the very first Friday the 13th movie from 1980?
Yes, I can.
Are you sure? Now
I don't know. Now I'm Jason. Jason.
No.
It's Jason.
No, it's not. It's
The
not.
mom. It's Jason's mom. It's Jason's
Yes,
mom.
that's right. It's Jason's mom. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you. So I
That's
got
right.
confused.
I need a bell. I
I
need
knew
like a ding,
what
ding,
it
ding.
was.
It's always a trick one, right? Because sometimes, and by the way, for those that may not know, this is no joke. I thought like we bonded over this. Victoria's favorite. Now, is this your favorite horror movie or your favorite movie? It's your favorite horror movie, right? Is Halloween?
Favorite horror movie, but I do like that movie as well. Yes. In general.
So your favorite horror movie of all time is the original Halloween from 1978. I mean,
it was one of the first ones I saw.
I think it's really cool. I was like, really? The old one? You know,
The old one.
I love the story you told about how there was a time where you wanted to watch it. You wanted people to watch it with you and nobody did. So you're like, fine, I'm watching it by myself. And you
Yes, I did. That's what happened.
It's
My
great.
friends didn't want to watch it with me.
There you go. You see? And of course, I have a big Halloween fan centric base here. So I think that's pretty cool indeed. Harry Hagen follows up with $5. Thank you, Harry. He says, ladies, settle the debate. Did Dave really tell you about the actual murder that took place at the mansion before the shoot? I guess
No,
he did not.
no. We
were there.
Yeah, that was okay. I was debating this at the premiere. So it was Malaika and I in Malaika's room, and we're sitting there and we're chatting. And Dave comes in and he just made this really casual comment about, oh yeah, because the murder in the house that happens. And we're both like
what?
Excuse me, we didn't tell you about that.
I thought I told you guys. Like, you kind of missed that
Yeah,
one.
Malaika's face. I've never seen Malaika's. Malaika had that. Are you fucking serious right now? Like, are you like I'm sleeping alone in the bedroom next door. Are you serious right now? Like, you had this look where I felt so bad. I was like, no, I told you, right? I'm positive I told you guys. I guess
Well,
I didn't.
It's like we were not even, it wasn't even like the first night we were there. We were sleeping there for a good chunk of time, maybe like 4 days at this point. Then we were like, well, that's nice to know. Then we told Shelby. Then we told Shelby, and Shelby was not about it. So
No, Shelby was not feeling splendid. That's for sure. She was not.
She wasn't feeling perfectly splendid.
No. I can't believe. I guess it was. I guess I had it in my own mind that I was going to tell you, and then I just didn't for whatever reason. I certainly did not tell you because I was afraid to tell you. It had nothing to do with that.
You wanted to keep us in the dark. You were like, they're gonna leave if they know.
No, it was honestly, I had every intention to, and I just forgot. And then there must, I was about to say his name. I don't want to say his name yet. I think who plays Billy, he was, you know how he was wandering around taking photos. He would go outside on walks and take photos. And he came in and he's like, did you know that there was a fucking murder in this house? Did you know that? And I turned and I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. And I think that's what it was. Maybe I came into your room and I was like, yeah, I was just talking to, blah, 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 but, about the murder that happened in this house. And you guys are like,
yeah.
Wait, what?
It was very smooth the way you told us. I almost missed it.
Inconspicuously put that in there. So no, apparently not. $2 super chat comes in from Harmon Olson sends in $2, says Billy versus Michael Myers versus Chucky. Who wins? Ooh, I don't know. Harmon. Billy,
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers. There we go.
Yeah, because Michael just doesn't die.
No,
we don't know about Billy yet.
That's true.
That is true. I think.
I mean, I would like to say Billy, but he's a little old now.
He's
but
up
you won't
there.
see him coming.
He's
That's
up there.
true.
Yeah.
And
Chucky,
is true.
you could. I don't know. You could hit him with a car, and he's still gonna get right back up.
He is. Although I will say this. The first Child's Play, the very first Child's Play is actually a pretty creepy movie. Like the one from 88 or whatever. It was actually pretty creepy. And then it just got ridiculous.
Talking dolls are just creepy, period.
Here's a question here from Ryan Olshow. Hey, Victoria, Shelby, and Malaika. Who inspired you, ladies? Or I guess it could be what if it was not a who, to get into acting in the first place?
Ooh.
We'll start with Shelbs at the top right.
I started performing when I was really little, like in church plays and stuff like that. And I actually would sing most of the time. So I just grew up being on stage. And I think that I just it sounds corny to say, but ever since that, I just loved being on stage and performing. And then when I got older and got into high school, I started to do more film. And I just loved that. I still love theater, but it's just it's a different experience.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I guess like watching movies growing up sort of pushed me into film, but I also, when I was growing up, was a big book lover. I would love to, like, I would just like read books and books and books and books all night long. I would stay up, and I would always like picture myself as the main character. If it was a movie, how would I deliver this line? Thanks, girls, for nodding with me.
I'm with you. I'm with you there.
So I think it just like was kind of in my life, but I don't know if I certainly have influences and inspirations now that encourage me and encourage my performance style and the types of things that I like. But in terms of getting into it to begin with, I just have kind of always been in it and loved it. So yeah.
No, I get you. You know, it's funny. I think most creative people have a story like that, because for me, I wasn't a big reader. I mean, obviously I can read, but I don't even know to this day if I've ever read a fiction book cover to cover, and I'm dead serious on that. I'm just not a big reader. I'm a movie guy, obviously, but I remember as a teenager, I loved music, but not necessarily like pop or rock, which I do love, obviously, but I had a plethora of movie soundtracks, and I used to listen to the instrumental movie soundtracks at night, and I would imagine my life like I am in a movie, like, so what's happening next day at school or something like that. This music was the soundtrack of what was happening in my life. And it's, you know, it's not things you tell people when it's happening, you know, you only tell them years later. But it doesn't surprise me to hear you say something like that. It wouldn't surprise me if Bruce or Victoria or Malaika had their own version of that somewhere. You know what I mean? And it's interesting. Malaika, what about you? How did you get into the game?
Shelbs and I are the same person, because I was a book reader. I read books till the AM. I could finish a book in a day. I loved it, and just wanting the desire to see myself on screen as a little kid. It was just like, oh, like someone that looks like me. Like, I would love to see that. I would love to be that person. Yeah, and the same thing as Shelby. I think sometimes when you're young, you just know what you're really interested in, and then the passion grows and festers. And you know, when you grow up and have the opportunity to kind of, you know, create your own path, it's even more exciting because you can do it. So yeah, it was just a passion that just grew and grew. Love performing, love singing, all of that. And then yeah, here we are, and just so happy to be here with everyone.
And what was that thing you would post to Instagram? It was your Instagram story. You were in I think it was an episode of something, and you were sitting on a porch, and then you were like getting into a car. What was that? What was that from?
Yeah, oh my gosh. Every time
Are you allowed to say or no?
No, I can.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. It is from a show called Fear Thy Neighbor. It's one of those like reenactment shows. So they tell the story and then like we reenact it. It's based on true stories. So I love those shows. They're so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's out, available. You guys can watch it. I think it's on Apple TV, like Amazon in America. But yeah, it was really fun to do that. Met some amazing people. Great story. So yeah,
do you know the name of the episode?
Oh my goodness, I don't know the name, but I think it's episode 8 or 7.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay. That's okay.
All good.
Yeah, guys, make sure you check that out and show Malaika some support, because I love seeing that. And also too, Shelby, is Seabreeze, is it available on YouTube or somewhere that people can see that? Because that was excellent work. And shout out to your team for that. Such a tremendous job. I watched it. I was thrilled. I loved it. So well put together, so well shot. And I mean that, like, sincerely. I'm the kind of person that if I didn't think that, I just wouldn't say anything. So it was really well done. Your performance was fantastic. It's a short film. I guess it's about, what is it, 10 minutes long, maybe?
I think it's only like 6 minutes long.
6 minutes? It's fantastic, guys. Where can people see Seabreeze?
I don't know if Seabreeze is on YouTube, but it is on Vimeo.
Okay, Vimeo.
Yeah.
So
and it's free streaming.
Perfect. So if people go to Vimeo, it's not like a private link or an unlisted link. It's there for everybody.
No, yeah. I think I still have the link in my bio on Instagram until Friday.
Okay.
And it will be replaced with a new link.
Yes.
But yeah, I think you should just be able to find it if you search it on Vimeo.
Okay, cool. Yeah, check out Sea Breeze on Vimeo. Shelby just knocks it out of the park. What a great. I love films that, you know, you're not quite sure what's going on. Is this a dream? It's not, and then you're like, oh, I like that. That's good. I like that. You know what I mean? And that's one of those movies. So make sure you check that out. Victoria, you. Wait, have I talked to you yet? Yeah, no. Malaika, Shelby. Okay, Victoria. Yeah. Come on. How'd you get into it? It was the goose, wasn't it? No.
It was a goose. How did I get into acting? So, I mean, I'm sure my parents can back me up here. They're watching. But like we were watching home videos like a few weeks back or a couple months back. And just even as soon as I could talk, there's like videos of me, I'd get in costume and I'd come out and my dad would do the whole introducing the Little Mermaid. And I would just come out and I would do a little dance and a little performance. And there was another video where I made up my own song. And I think it legitimately was about half an hour of me just singing about things that I saw around the room and just things I was feeling in the moment. And I kept going. And I had this little microphone. It was intense, but it was cute, I think. So we just like Shelby and Malaika, I just knew at a very young age. I also really liked books. I did the same thing. If I were a character in this, how would I feel? And then, I mean, I got to say it, but I was a big fan of Hilary Duff and I looked up to her so much. And I was like, I want to be like her. And then I started doing plays, I think starting at age 8, musicals. And then I went in high school and obviously my teachers there really inspired me to keep going. They helped me with all of my auditions to get into school and even some film auditions. They were very supportive. So shout out to my drama teachers. And also obviously, like you mentioned at the beginning, my parents, yeah, I remember when I was deciding, I went to school for acting and I remember thinking, oh, do I go to school for acting or do I go for something else? Because, you know, people are always saying, you know, oh, you're going to go in the arts. What are you going to do? You know, it's kind of, you know, it's that kind of thing. So it got in my head a bit and I don't think I would have been where I am now if my parents didn't say, you should go and do this because this is what you love. So they're the ones who convinced me to go to York and to do acting. And now the reason I did that is the reason I'm here. So
amazing. And
yeah,
that's awesome to get that kind of support. That's fantastic.
Victoria said,
because not everybody has that.
Yeah, in case people missed that, because it kind of sounded like you said New York. She said York, which is York University in Toronto. Yeah, which is a great school, by the way, for that kind of stuff. So impressive. And you are a graduate on the dean's list, right? Is that right?
I was a graduate on the dean's list.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
So fancy.
And I don't know, Malaika, are you a singer at all, or is that something that you're into or can do? I don't mean to put you on the spot. I only ask because I know that Shelby and Victoria are great singers. So I just didn't know if that was something that you did as well.
They are. I used to sing, yeah. And I mean, I sing at home and stuff. I used to do like talent shows in high school. That was really fun. Then stopped the talent shows and just kind of like focused on acting. But yeah, I mean, I love singing. It's fun.
Yeah.
Not looking to make a career out of it, but singing is just so much fun and it's relaxing. So yeah. That's
really cool. I mean, just, yeah, you know, you three are like quadruple threat or whatever. I don't know how many talents you have, but I mean, it's really cool indeed. This super chat comes in from Frank Riker, who's one of my moderators here on the channel, who was also at the world premiere the other night. He said he sends in a $10 US super chat. Thank you, Frank. Appreciate that. Says spine chilling. You ladies did a fantastic job. I believed every second of your acting and see you have bright futures ahead of you. Dave and Bruce were okay. just kidding, of course, he says. I love it. Frank, I love you. That's fantastic. And that is sort of, that encapsulates a lot of the personal messages that I've received that I'm not even posting, is that people feel that way about it. Very genuine, believable, which is great.
Yeah. People have
Thank
commented
you.
on your performances as just being tight, like just
Yeah.
on point and totally believable. And it's fantastic, you know? So it's, kudos to you.
For sure.
Thank
Southpaw
you.
82 sends in $5 US, says, hello, everyone. Are these amazing ladies looking to have a career in the horror genre? Haven't seen them yet, but looks like they did a great job. And there's your answer right there, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm just kidding. We'll start with you, Victoria.
Okay, I wasn't sure who should go first, but yeah, I mean, it just kind of happens. I think I talked about this on set too. It just so happens that I get cast in a lot of horror films. I think I just have that face where you cast me to either get killed or you want that like doe-eyed kind of, person who gets attacked all the time. I always attract that role and I don't know why. So I've done mostly horror, actually, if I look back at it. I've done some drama. I don't think I've done much comedy other than theater. So in film, I don't think I've done much comedy, although I thought that's what I would do because I'm very, happy-go-lucky. But I guess I just look like most of my auditions that I get sent from my agent are, you are an innocent, girl who is getting murdered, kidnapped, or chased. And I'm like,
wow,
that works for me.
There you have it.
I know how to do that.
There you go. Wow. Okay.
I know.
So that's what I look like.
Yeah.
Shelby.
Obviously, I love it though. I'm good with it. I like work, so.
Yeah. I mean, I can't speak for you three, but obviously, I think in a lot of cases, actors love to work, and whether that's comedy, drama, action, horror, if it's an intriguing part, if it's a good script, if it's some good people. Sometimes you don't know if it's good people until you're actually on set, but if it's a good script and a good part and an intriguing role, sometimes that's all you need.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Shelby, what about you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I specifically am seeking out a career in the horror genre. This is actually the first horror movie that I've done. And I did do one recently, if you would call it a horror. It's kind of like a thriller. It's not out yet, so don't worry about it. But
is that on your demo though? On your
It's
YouTube?
not. No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. No. When it comes out, maybe. But it's I loved working on horror. It's so much fun. I typically do like dramas. I don't think I've done a comedy either. There's not a ton of content created. I feel like, at least that I see come through, that's comedic that's I guess like casting for somebody like me, or it feels like in general, but I'm sure it's just, that's not what I'm seeing out there. Because I like to think that I enjoy a good laugh as well. But the horror movie was incredibly fun to work on, and I would obviously be thrilled to continue exploring the genre more. So I'm not seeking that, but I would love it. It would be so much fun.
Horror movies are fun a lot of filmmakers cut their teeth, as the saying goes, in horror, because they are, depending on the horror movie, they are relatively inexpensive to make. And they can be a lot of fun to do. That's a lot of people start in the horror genre, actors and directors. I mean, Johnny Depp obviously began in horror. His first movie was A Nightmare on Elm Street. So a lot of people start that way. There's no doubt about it. Malaika, now you've done some paranormal shows, Malaika. You're kind of a veteran at this.
Yep. Like Victoria, I've done quite a lot of horror projects, and they're so much fun because I love horror movies. And like Shelby, it's not necessarily something I seek, like, oh, like I want this kind of career. I mean, whatever comes, and I'm happy about it. I do love drama. I think it's so great. But you know, any kind of genre can have drama in it, you know, horror, comedy, dramedy, you know what I mean? Like, I love it all. So yeah, I'm not seeking it either, but I love horror movies, so why wouldn't I be a part of one or
It's true.
more? Yeah.
More. That's right. It's true.
Cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Jack Carter sends in $1.99 pound. $1.99 pounds. Is that how you say that? I know it's a pound, but I don't know how you phrase it. Genuine, and truly talented ladies. Congrats to all. Thank you, Jack.
Nice.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Nick P was here, says, looking forward to it. It looks great. And then what else do we have here? We have Trevor Bristow says, hey, Dave, buddy, and the ladies in the film. I just want to say that, do you have any thoughts on Zack Snyder's Justice League 2021, The Snyder Cut? I liked it. I haven't seen it. But Bruce, I think you did watch all 4 hours of it.
Yeah, I did. Malaika watched it too. Yeah. And I saw the original Justice League as well, like, or the first version, right? I guess. Yeah. What did I think? Listen, some people are probably going to hate me for this, but I don't think it needed to be 4 hours. I think Zach could have told that story in a much shorter period of time. Especially after everything that they've done. Yeah, I'm going to compare stuff to MCU just because it's like Marvel's just, I don't know, they just dominate. But like, I thought it was way better because the original Justice League was just a piece of shit. Like, it was just, I didn't like it. It's just,
Bruce,
but
just
then,
don't hold back though. Please tell us how
No,
you
I'm not
really
going
feel,
to.
okay?
But I understand there were other people weighing in with their ideas, and not everybody's a creator, but a lot of people think they are. And so, hey, there you go. Yeah, I liked it way better. There was some really cool stuff. A lot of aspects of it that I really liked. I kind of wish, like, I don't know, it was just sort of the whole, it's Doomsday, correct? The villain. He's Thanos's comparison in the DC universe, and if I'm not mistaken, it was actually the same artist who had influence to create both characters, because the artist originally worked for one of the comics, created the character, whatever it was called, and then came over to the other comic line and created essentially this very similar kind of character. And I don't know, I wish there was more to it. I guess I was expecting a little bit more epicness in some ways, like, I guess, shift of focus in some parts. But
I got you. Malaika, what about you?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about it too. My mom watched it with me. She's a trooper.
Shout out to the mom.
Yeah, shout out to my mom. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it only because, I mean, in comparison to the original one that was released, it was a lot better, a lot more fleshed out. And I think for me specifically, like, I like to see a fleshed out story. And I know not a lot of people like the whole 4-hour thing. I get it. I'm someone who loves like long movies if it has like a story, you know? And I love these characters, and I've been wanting to see like a good, well done Justice League movie. And having Steppenwolf as one of the villains, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Yeah, it was really fun for me. I really enjoyed it, but I totally understand the different opinions. I get it. But that's the great thing about film, right? Like, you can have conversations about the way someone else perceived it in comparison to you, and it's just really interesting to talk about it. So yeah.
That's right. You hear that, fandom? You hear that, fandom out there? We can have conversations about the things we don't like. We don't have to yell and scream and call each other names. And man, I tell you, the things I've learned doing this YouTube channel. Oh my goodness. Victoria and Shelby, you guys haven't seen it though, right? Have you seen the?
No.
No.
I did see it.
Oh, you did? Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't know a lot about, like, I don't really follow those movies as well, so I don't know that I have a strong opinion about it one way or the other. I did think that the villain, though, was like too adorable. I thought he was like a little pet that I wanted to have.
I could see that. You have a very small face, massive horns.
Big eyes. He was so
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But-
Interesting.
but-
You're kind of like a turtle. You look like a turtle. Yeah.
Pop him in a little tank.
Well, there you
They
go.
should have done that. The movie is 3 minutes long. There you go. That's simple, right?
Steppenwolf, the turtle.
Release the Shelby cut. I think that's what it needs to be now. Release the Shelby cut.
Steppen
That's what-
turtle.
Yeah, exactly. Oliver Mercer sends in £5. Hello, Oliver, from across the pond, and says, a question for everyone. Has there been a major inspirational person in your life that changed your choices for the better? Massive congratulations. It's pretty deep, Oliver. It's a great question.
Yeah. I assume he's kind of asking in general terms.
In general, I think, yeah, not necessarily related to the movie, but in a general sense in your life. And if it's too personal, obviously you don't have to answer, but certainly that's a good question.
I think. Oh, go ahead. Oh. I'm not going to talk to specifics, but I can say that there have been actually a few people in my life who have had a very positive influence on me and helped me to. They've been inspiring, inspiring, and helped shape the way that I think about things, which was huge. That's huge for me. So, there's a few people that I would give credit to for that.
Very cool. I would say for me, I don't think there's anybody. Somebody asked me not too long ago if I ever have ever had a mentor, and I don't think I have, at least not in the traditional sense or the direct sense. And it's only now that as I get older, and both my parents passed away in 2011. So as I get older and I start to realize, and I think a lot of people are this way when they get older, they start to hear their parents in themselves, I mean, I don't have any kids, so I don't hear it through talking to my kids. But I feel it and I hear it in decisions that I need to make. I was very fortunate that I had a very good relationship with my mom and dad. I'm very aware that not everybody has a good mom and dad, and not everybody comes from a good home. And so I was very blessed in that sense to have a good relationship with my mom and dad. Now, my mom and dad were divorced. I came from a broken home for all intents and purposes, but I had a good relationship with both of them. And so that always helped me in my life. And I think without knowing it, I guess they were, because they're your mom and dad. So it's not like you're consciously thinking of them as mentors or people that you're looking up to. But now that they're gone, especially, you realize how much of an impact they had and the decisions. And you really are like, wow, because there's so many times where, my girlfriend will be talking to me and I'll be like, oh my God, that's true. I feel like my dad right now, or, I can hear my mom, or, I can hear my dad in my head, or I can hear my mom, or, whatever. And they had a profound effect on me. So I would probably say them. And you know what? And I'm not just saying this because he's here right now, but Bruce as well. I mean, we've known each other for nearly 30 years, and, you don't know somebody that long, and not they not have a profound impact on your life in a variety of ways, mostly positive. And, but it's true. It's true. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say that. Where do we live? Oh, we did Malaika. Did we do Malaika? No, we did Bruce first, then me, Malaika.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. My parents are like my best friends. Especially my dad, he's like my bestie. So, I always hear them in my head when I'm making decisions and thinking about things, thinking critically about things. And I have to owe a lot of, the way that I carry myself and am confident about, or not confident, but comfortable about speaking on issues. I have to owe it to them. They instilled that in me, like morals and values. And yeah, I can talk to them about anything. It's so great. And you're right, like we do, everyone has that opportunity to have a relationship with their parents. And so for me, like knowing that I do have that, I really cherish that. So Yeah, I would
It's
say my
special.
parents for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
Shelby?
I would say my grandpa, who passed away many years ago now, but when I was growing up, he's kind of the one person who really encouraged me to follow my dreams, and he would like help to facilitate that a little bit, maybe not in such a direct way, but for example, like when I was 9 years old or 11 years old. Anyways, he took me and my mom to New York City because I always wanted to go to New York City, and we went and saw a play, and he made sure that we got the best tickets to go and see The Lion King on Broadway, and he made sure I got an aisle seat because he had heard that they were bringing people from the audience onto the stage, which I insisted then on not sitting in the aisle seat because I did not want to go on stage. I love performing, but don't drag me up on stage as my own self. That's us. And so just like he was one of those people that just always encouraged me and brought me along, kind of helping me through in whatever ways that he could. And then even since he has passed away, I think that a lot of that I just carry with me all the time, because I am always thinking about what would make him proud and how I can sort of continue to carry on and do. I think about him when I'm working on stuff, and I wish he could be here to see this because this is what he always encouraged me to do. So he would be like, if we're talking about really lifelong influences, that would be the one that stands out in my mind. I mean, my parents are incredibly supportive as well, and they always help me through, but just as a kid, and I think especially when you do have somebody that is so relevant in your life that passes too, it is a little easier sometimes to put them up on a pedestal and always kind of defer to them. But that would be, for me, I think my greatest influence in my life thus far.
Great answer.
Cool.
Amazing.
Cool.
Amazing. Victoria?
Well, I guess I already talked about my parents, who are always super supportive. Even my whole family, my brother, my extended family, they've always been very supportive. Like Shelby was saying, my parents always took me to plays. We went to New York, we went to Broadway. They've just, like I said, I've already said all that about my parents. They're super supportive. But also my best friend, I don't know, I think she's watching, I'm not too sure, but her name's Bailey, and we met
Bailey,
in JK.
shout out to Bailey. Hello, Bailey.
Shout out to Bailey.
Yeah.
We were best friends since JK, and we
Wow.
did long distance friendships since we were 13, 14 years old. We're still super tight. And she's just the person I would always go to, especially when I was frustrated with the industry, because, you know, as much as you love it, you're kind of like, oh, this industry makes me a little angry sometimes. And I would always call her, and she'd just remind me, she'd be like, this is what you do. This is what you love. This is what you're good at. So, she's always a person I call and talk to about that stuff. And she's always just been super supportive, and yeah, she's kind of been my go-to person throughout this whole journey. I remember we were planning out what we were going to do on the red carpet when we were like, I don't know, 10. We had this little code name for each other. It was like Sisters for Life, gonna go on the red carpet together, but it was like a whole acronym. It was this huge thing. So she's just kind of been someone who's been on the journey with me this whole time. We used to do High School Musical karaoke together. I was Gabriella, of course. Yeah, so she's just someone who's just kind of been with me through the whole thing. That, yeah, she's my kind of support there, as well as my parents. But I already talked about them, so I thought I'd shed light on somebody else. And obviously Matt, I think he's watching too.
Matt,
but,
that's right.
Yes,
That's
he's
right.
also
That's
very
right.
supportive.
Yes, of course. We could not forget Matt, of course.
I couldn't not say Matt. He's also been very supportive.
Yes. Shout out to the boyfriend, Matt.
Yes,
Steve
you, Matt.
McCoy. That's right. Steve McCoy says, question for the lovely ladies. Did you three feel like you were part of something special on this project?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't say it enough. Like it was like family. I mean, we still are family, and just to feel so comfortable on a set with people who, you know, have the same mindsets as you and wants to be as creative as you, it's refreshing, and it's the best thing.
Yeah, like even I think we were talking about it during the premiere as well. just the fact that it was kind of a passion project. This, how cute it is that Dave and Bruce used to make films together, and now it's this thing, and they made a movie, and it's just so nice to be a part of. And
you were going to say adorable, weren't you? You were going to say adorable.
It is adorable, Dave.
It looked like you were going to.
That's okay.
Like you had,
no shame.
It's so
no shame.
It's great.
I'll take
it's
adorable
great.
any day.
It's adorable. And you guys, you were, you know, you're kind of directing, and you're referring to one another as co-directors. And you're like, what do you think of this? And it was adorable. So yeah, I think someone in the set, they were like, watch them, just watch them. They look like they've been married for like 50 years. I'm like,
true.
You're right.
Now that's true. Now
I think
true.
we heard that on set a couple of
yes.
times.
yes.
Hey, when you've known somebody for almost 30 years, right? It's like, what do you expect?
Yeah. It was just the way you talked to one another and the way you sorted out, not issues. We didn't really have many issues, but just like little things that would happen. It was just nice to be on a set where it was just a passion of yours. And it felt like something special, and just, you know, how everything happened with the snow and how everything just kind of fell into place. It was really special. Yeah. For sure. And Shelby, cool. I know you don't need, I mean, you can, you know, you can echo everything. I'm sure you feel the same way. So, okay, let's see if we can get through a couple of these, some more super chats came in. Harry Hagen said, Harry Hagen, hello, Harry. Great to see you here. Sent in $5, says, ladies, out of upcoming directors in the horror genre, which would you work with? A Quiet Place is John Krasinski, or Get Out's Jordan Peele. I think I'd work with both, but ladies?
Shoot, if I can work with both, that'd be a dream come true. But for sure, Jordan Peele.
Very cool. Shelby? Oh, can't hear you. You're wait, Shelby, you're muted. There you go.
Hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love, of course, to work with both. I think for me, the sort of different layers of Jordan Peele's work would definitely appeal to me. So if I had to absolutely choose between the two, first of all, if I'm in a position where I can choose between the two,
right?
I have to choose, yeah.
Cool. Victoria?
I mean, considering before this video chat started, the fact that I got Jordan Peele wrong, I think I called him the Peele guy.
You did.
I feel like I can't say him now. John Krasinski. I love The Office. I'm a big Jim fan. I would have to work with him, although I do love Jordan Peele. I just feel like I lost the right when I said the Peele guy.
The Peele guy.
I lost the right.
You should add him in a tweet. Be like, so you're the Peele guy. You know, it's kind of endearing. Yeah, it's endearing.
I did love Get Out. I really did, and I
did too. Yeah.
I love his work, but I lost the right, and I'm a big fan of The Office, and The Quiet Place was great. So we're gonna go with Johnny.
All right, there we go. Let's see here. That was that one. And then Wicked Threshold retracted their message, but sent in $4.99. Thank you, Wicked. Appreciate that. Nonetheless, feel free to send something else in if you'd like. We have some weird guy here by the name of Chris Mero who sends in $5. And he says, a strange guy. I don't know who this guy is. He says, Very strange, I know. He says, ladies, without giving anything away, what made you laugh the most on set? Well, that's actually a really good question, Chris. Yeah. That's actually a really good question.
There's so many.
Yeah. Bruce and Dave, the married couple. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
Yeah. There was 2 moments for me. I talked about them briefly in the premiere, but Malaika, the dining room scene, when we just couldn't get through it, like that was the hardest scene I have ever had to film. I think we were just so tired that we couldn't get the words out, and I forget what line it was.
Yeah.
But here's what's so amazing about that.
I couldn't speak, and I don't even know what the line was.
But
she just kept saying this one word slightly weird, and I couldn't make eye contact with. I mean, don't look at me. I know this is an intense scene. I cannot look at you. I don't want to talk to you right now because I know, you know, when you have to choke it down, you just have, if you let it out, you're not going back. There's no way I would have gotten through that scene.
It's funny you bring that up because the dining room scene is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. And it was one of my favorite scenes to actually direct with Bruce throughout the whole film. And I recall you guys, I remember there, because we often get asked, you know, how are the bloopers, deleted scenes, all that kind of stuff. And I've said, and I mean this, and it's true, there's not a lot of fat on this movie. I mean, there wasn't a lot of retakes. I mean, we shot some things, 2 or 3, maybe 4 times, but it was usually because we were just getting different versions of it. So we had several to choose from and we could mix and match if we wanted to. But there's one, I don't recall you guys screwing up really at all, except one moment in the dining room scene. I believe it was on Malaika. We were shooting Malaika's medium shot, if I'm not mistaken. And you did say something that caused us to start again and laugh, but the next time we did it, you were like flawless. So, I mean, if you guys inside were going, you would never have known it. Yeah. Like you would never have known it.
It was between takes.
Okay,
so
well,
hard.
It was impressive. It was impressive because you guys were
I had no
locked.
idea.
I had no idea. You guys were locked.
Thank you. It was, I think it was when it was Shelby's scene and it was on Shelby and then Malaika said a funny word. And then that's when we just lost it. Yeah.
Because you kind of mispronounced it, but then like you could hear the smile. And when I looked at you, you were kind of like,
well, do you want to know something?
And so I was like, fine, I'll look at Victoria. And then Victoria is also like very clearly not making eye contact with anyone else. Wow. Thanks.
I was trying to help you. I didn't want to ruin your take.
It's funny. I won't say what it is. We can talk about it maybe after the film's out. But there was a line that Shelby said where you screwed it up and you kept going like nobody's business. But you could sort of tell you knew you did, but you just kept going. And I fixed it in post. And I did. So
yeah,
I
did some magic.
What I did some, because I'm sure it wasn't the only time, because I definitely
it was the only time. I didn't see anywhere else where I had to fix it. There was just something your take, because we shot the 3 of you medium shots, you know, around the table, right? And I think we might have shot Victoria twice. But I'm positive, and I might be wrong, that Malaika and Shelby were one apart from the laugh where we had to start again. But Shelby, we had one take of yours, and yes, and because it was that good, But there was in your dialogue, you had said something a bit wonky, and I picked it up I didn't notice it when we were shooting, but I picked it up in post and I fixed it. But it was it's because when you watch it, it's almost like you kind of, I mean, the audience is not going to be any the wiser, right? They're not going to be any the wiser. But as somebody who was there, who has a different perspective, it feels like you kind of caught it, but you just kept rolling like gangbusters. I mean, you were just didn't phase you at all. It was brilliant. It was amazing.
Just how I talk in my daily life. I'm like, right? Better keep on going.
Yeah, it was great. It did not hinder the performance. It did not take you out of character. That's what was amazing about it.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. Victoria, and then Chris was at Malaika. I guess you guys all agree that was the moment then, right? That was sort of the.
I think there were many moments, but to your point about there not being like bloopers or anything, it's because we just, at the second that the cameras weren't on, we were just goofing around all the time. There's many, many very funny moments.
Well, but, you guys must have. Do you still? Did you guys shoot any cell phone video at all when you were there, like behind the scenes stuff, or like on your own or whatever?
We have pictures. A lot of pictures. I think we have videos.
Videos?
I have some videos.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I remember when we were driving, we were pulling up to the house on our first day, and you guys were all filming, I think, with your
Yes.
cameras,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken.
We have some videos of us like in the bedroom with our slippers. We're all excited about our slippers.
I remember that
But I
one.
didn't end up wearing my slippers, but that's fine.
I do remember that one. I do remember that one.
Yes.
Thank you, Chris, for the question, by the way. Appreciate the super chat, whoever the hell that guy is. I'm not quite sure.
No idea.
No idea, I tell you. Wicked Threshold sends in $4.99. Thank you, buddy. He says, since Victoria keeps getting casted for these kind of roles, she should play Laurie Strode the next time Halloween gets rebooted. Oh, there you go. I
Well,
don't think
that
she
would be amazing.
would be pretty cool.
I agree. Put some feelers out there.
Mhm.
Yeah, they'll
Positive
they'll
vibes.
reboot it for sure. They'll
Oh,
They
God.
need
eventually.
to.
They'll probably
Yeah.
reboot it 6 times between now and 2025.
Yeah.
The
This,
shade.
it's crazy. Calvin, is it? No, it's, yeah, Calvin X Music? Calvin IX Music? I don't know if
Calvonics.
Calvonics. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Calvonics. That I get it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, musically inclined person, and helping out the the not musically inclined individual here. Calvonics Music. Thank you. Sends in $5. Says Victoria. What is your favorite Hilary Duff movie? I still have the biggest crush on her. Also, special shout out to the homegirl Shelby. So, do you know this individual, Shelby?
We
Okay.
collaborated together on some songs.
So
Cool,
that's
cool.
okay. There we go. Well, I will never forget Calvonics. I've got it now in my head. As a voice actor, I tend to naturally phonetically sound out everything. Victoria, your favorite Hilary Duff movie?
Oh man, what a good question. I love her so much.
Is she still around, by the way? Whatever
She
happened to her?
is still around, and they're
Okay.
supposed to do a Lizzie McGuire reboot, but then it got canceled, which broke my heart.
Oh, no.
Malika's with me. I don't know what my favorite movie is. I mean, I watched the Lizzie McGuire movie like last week. Obviously, Hey Now is a jam that I love. Probably watched it a million times. Made my brother sing Paulo's part with me when we were younger. Probably the Lizzie McGuire movie, but I'm also a big fan of Raise Your Voice. And Casper Meets Wendy was my first favorite movie way back in the 90s. Maybe that one. I don't know. There's too many. But I did watch Lizzie McGuire movie like last week.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I love it.
I love
That's
it.
awesome. Thank you, Calvonics Music. Appreciate it. And he's here. He's here in Toronto. So that's I assume anyway. That's great. Or at least sorry, whereabouts?
Vancouver.
Oh, he's in Vancouver. Okay. Well, he's Canadian nonetheless. So that's or at least he's in Canada. I don't want to get too presumptuous. Okay. We got to wrap this up soon here. So let's get through these as quickly as we can here. Robert Kitzmiller sends in $5 US. Says, ladies, after getting to know Billy on a personal level, what have you learned about Dave? Happy late 42nd, dude. Can't wait for Friday. Thank you very much. 40 seconds, the new 41, I hear. So it's all good. Getting to know Billy on a personal level. What have you learned about Dave? Oh, maybe because I did all the voices, maybe. But I didn't do the voices on set. We actually had the actor do the voice on set. But
I mean, you would still, do it every so often.
yeah, that's true. I
You
would do
know?
it just to freak you guys out.
Mhm.
Yeah. In rehearsals.
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
it's such an
yeah.
awkward question. What did we learn about that? I don't know. It's just he's Dave. He's just Dave.
Well, I learned
That's what it
I
is.
learned that Dave, from being around him so much, I learned how much he loves chocolate milk. That was one of the
Yes.
main things.
I
Yes.
do love chocolate.
Yes. Yeah. Whenever we link up to go for, dinner, whatever, there's always a chocolate milk.
Yep.
Bruce
Always.
ordered him a chocolate milk, and we thought he was kidding because we all got fancy
Yeah.
drinks,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they've got a chocolate milk.
My
Yeah.
my girlfriend yesterday for my birthday made me a delicious meal with chocolate milk. And that's
Yep.
just the way
There
it
it is.
goes. I love chocolate milk. What can I say? I'm
Yeah.
a big chocolate milk fan. So that's what they've learned. Thank you, Robert, by the way. Appreciate that. DreamBeb77 sends in $10. Thank you, buddy. Says, congratulations, everyone, on completing the film. I'm looking forward to seeing it on Friday. Dave, Bruce, when does the campaign for the sequel, Gabriel, It's Me, start up? Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh, that's great. I'd forgotten about that.
Do you ladies know that? Do you remember that? I had a,
inside joke, yeah.
sometimes I get hate mail. Believe it or not, I get people that, don't like my show or whatever, don't agree with my opinions, and will send me messages. And when you're sending me a message, you need to, if you're trying to really stick it to me, you want to stick the landing. And they didn't stick the landing. They said, and I hope It's Me, Gabriel fails. And I'm thinking to myself, Gabriel? Who the heck is Gabriel? How do you, it's not even, it's me Willie, it's me Trilly, it's me Silly, it's me Gabriel. It's not even
Me
in the same
Gabriel.
ballpark.
Me, Gabriel.
Yeah,
Very
so
specific
it's,
name.
well,
Yeah.
you would think, Shelby, you would think that these
I
are
hope
jokes.
It's Me, Gabriel fails too.
Yes,
Yeah.
Wherever
exactly.
it is.
Screw that movie. It's Me, Gabriel. You'd be surprised by some of the messages I receive, and I mean, I'm sure one or two's probably been fake, but there are some that I'm like, oh my God, it's just Halloween. Calm down. What's going on? We all can be friends. We all can be friends. That's fun. When Me, Gabriel, that's hilarious. Jim Dorsey sends in $4.99 and says, what do all the actresses think of the original 1974 Black Christmas and the remakes? Favorite scenes, moments? Also huge congrats to everyone. Thank you, Jim. Start with Malaika.
Okay, so I think on one of the other lives we had, I loosely talked about it, but I loved it. I recently saw it before.
The original you're talking about.
Yes, the original.
Yeah. Okay.
And I loved it. Like, I love how different of a horror movie it is. It's not your typical like slasher and like blood and gore. It's like very much like a psychological thriller horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed it. I'm not just saying that like, because everyone knows I love horror movies. So to see something like that, a classic, it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. And favorite scene. Oh, that's a tough one. Favorite scene. I would have to say where the Christmas carolers were outside singing.
Yes.
And then we saw a shot to the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really creepy. I really loved that. That was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's when Margot Kidder is getting killed.
It was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very memorable.
Yeah. I think I know what Shelby's going to say, but I don't know. Shelby?
Well, I really liked the original Black Christmas. I didn't watch it until I got cast in this movie. So thank you for casting me so I could watch that movie. But I will just echo a lot of what Malaika said. Like, it was just, especially for 1974, to me, it felt very innovative, a little ahead of its time. And that, by today's standards, a lot of what happens is not very shocking or exciting, but to look at it from the lens of when it was shot and when it came out, like that's so disturbing. And a lot of the things that are said on the phone, like, I was shocked by some of the language that was used, even though we would use it much more casually in today's filmmaking world, life world in general. Like those things were just not said.
Yeah, it was very blue.
In the movie. So it was like a little bit jarring. But just the atmosphere and the tone and the way that it's shot was just it was very interesting to watch it and think about what it would have been like to watch that when it came out. If I had to pick a favorite scene, it's funny because I was thinking of the same one, Malaika, that you're talking about. But I also really love the scene where you see Billy's eye. So creepy.
It is creepy.
Just like in the bedroom, all of the shot. I mean, how can you pick just one? Like, they're just all so dramatic and intense, even though you don't see a lot. And I think that's what I love a lot about that movie is it makes you think about what you're seeing instead of just showing it to you. What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were gonna reference the very blue phone calls, and especially for that time period, right, being 1974, and it's not like 5 minutes into the movie and he's popping out the C word like 10 times, and you're like, what? And you can only imagine. Again, this is, I mean, today it's like, well, I mean, that word's still not, nice to be used today, but certainly, as you said, it's like, well, you hear it a lot in a variety of different ways, but certainly in 74 in a movie, that would have been not very common. So yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say, and you did say it. So
that's what I said. Yeah.
I was right. Victoria.
I mean, everyone kind of said my thoughts already. Obviously I loved it. I didn't see it before I got cast, but I was happy to watch it after I got cast. And I think I said this in a different live as well, but just, in the 1970s films, like they're good, but it was like Shelby said, it was kind of more revolutionary for its time, but I won't get into, everyone already said what I thought. But my favorite scene, it's really hard to say, but I just kind of liked the whole scene or the whole storyline of Peter, and he's, her boyfriend, but then, oh my gosh, he's a killer. And at the end, he's not. And Billy is hanging out upstairs, and then Olivia Hussey is in bed, and it ends. It's great.
Yeah, it's like, so, wait. But
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think my favorite is the eye behind the door. I mean, there's so many great moments, but that moment where he's just like, it's me, Billy, and then the camera, because what's so great about that shot is we see Olivia Hussey, I think it's a medium shot. She's fallen to the ground because she's busted open the door, and she's looking at her friends on the bed, displayed on the bed too. He's displayed the bodies on the bed, which is just creepy in and of itself. And then so she's kind of on her hands and knees a bit, and you hear like, it's me, Billy, don't tell them what we did, Agnes. Like you hear that, and she starts to look up, and then the camera starts to pan, but you don't because you don't have the perspective, because it's panning across the door, you don't gain the depth of field to know how close you are really to the door, or how close and then all of a sudden this eye comes into frame, and then you realize, oh, we're this close to the door. And it becomes, you're like, well, I wasn't expecting to be that close to him, and I think, I know the question wasn't asked to me, but I just think it's cool anyway. It's a creepy shot, man. Creepy shot. Okay, we got to get through these. Not too many more here. Tom Ungurian says, $5 says, was shooting during a pandemic more difficult? Because I heard Nev Campbell said shooting Scream 5 sucked due to all the regulations and rules, etc. Well, I'll start off by saying that it probably would suck for Scream 5 because that's a multi-million-dollar production with a large crew of probably several hundred people. So that, you multiply the headaches times 10, and the procedures and the protocols and the logistics that have to go into place, and the tests and the money and all that kind of stuff. So I can understand why. With It's Me, Billy, we were a cast and crew total was about 17, 18 people. It was one location, so that afforded us to leave things set up and all that kind of stuff. And, about 6 or 7 of us were able to stay at the home. Some were at the motel down the street. It was a very, relatively speaking, we followed the rules and the regulations, but I think because it was self-contained, that really helped us. We didn't have to travel around to 10 different locations and set up and tear down. And so I think it was pretty smooth, all things. I think we were lucky. It was, it allowed us to actually shoot relatively easily during a pandemic. Bruce, what do you think?
Yeah, the fact that we were all together for the duration of the week, we were operating within the same bubble, and nobody was coming in or out of that bubble except for the caterer. But, again, that was, very specific, the way that we handled it. Yeah. It was definitely, like, let's face it, it was definitely a pain in the ass from a producer's point of view to have to worry and focus on that and manage the logistics surrounding it. There was a lot of background work that Dave and I had to do in preparation for it. and a lot of discussion around it as well. A lot of paying attention to what was going on in the industry and with the government. And, you know, there's a lot of contradictory information out there, things going back and forth. The film industry, I think, did a fantastic job at establishing rules and regulations for itself within Canada so that it
And
could
so
continue to
quickly,
operate.
too.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And there were a lot of teams that came together, unions and guilds that came together, and they did a fantastic job at putting something together that was approved by the Ministry of Labor, and that just went a long way. And so we followed those guidelines. So that was nice because it gave us that framework to go by. But yeah, to Dave's point and to Nev Campbell's point, I can only imagine, like, those performers are being tested like 2 to 3 times a week, right? And it's the nasal swab. So imagine having that done 2 to 3 times a week. And then there's other very strict protocols and just the logistics of having to manage that. Like, I just can't imagine. Like, it would just be really tough. So the fact that it was small, tight, it was contained, we were our own bubble, that made all the difference and really helped make it a lot more manageable, I think, because the logistics otherwise would have been pretty tough.
Couldn't agree. Ladies, do you agree with that? Do you have anything to add to that, or?
No, it was great. It worked out.
For us, it was fine. Yeah.
Yes, for us,
Right,
we were
right.
good.
Well, we noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we noticed that like as you know, from the beginning, we did our best to try to make everybody feel comfortable and not make it an elephant in the room, but be open with the discussion around it. You know, we had our own procedures, even on the meetup day, the travel day before we started shooting. And then I noticed that everybody felt pretty comfortable, you know, once we got into it. And that was really nice. And we were able to just jive, and it just felt very normal, which was awesome.
Agreed.
I'm very thankful for that. Very thankful for that.
Same. Okay. That was Tom Ungurian's. Matthew Fressi says, sends in $4.99. Thank you, Matthew. Says, Friday can't come soon enough. Finally, a worthy sequel to arguably the most underrated horror movie of all time. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate that very much for saying that. And then Joe Prez sends in $5. Says, do any of you ladies have a good or bad? This is a good question. We will leave it here. So don't send in any more super chats, because this is a good one to end on, because it's funny. Do you, any of you ladies have a good or bad celebrity impression?
They're all bad. Yeah. Not good at any of them.
Look at Victoria. She's really thinking here. She's like, I think I might be able to pull off something here.
Victoria, you do.
Everything just went, what did I know I do. I just can't remember.
Victoria's light went out saying time to go.
My light just went out. My light died.
They're actually turning off the lights on the show. That's how long we've been going over here.
It died.
They can do an amazing Mr. Grinch.
Who can?
I don't know,
Oh,
but
No, not me.
oh,
I can recite the lines. The impression is all Victoria.
Really?
I knew there was something I could do, but it just wasn't registering. But yeah, I do a great Grinch impression.
He does.
It's pretty great. I actually played the Grinch in my grade 7 musical.
oh, really?
And I performed it in front of the whole school. I was the new kid, and I was up there. I was in green. Anyways, it's iconic. It really is. I showed the ladies.
I love
She's
that.
excellent.
Well, I
It was
mean,
iconic.
I would be remiss if I didn't at least ask
Yeah.
if you are going to give us a little taste of
Definitely.
the Grinch right now, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Canada, the Grinch herself, Victoria Mero. This is iconic. This is the moment. Don't worry about It's Me, Billy, because everything will pale in comparison to this moment right now. I don't even know what's coming. I don't even know what a Grinch impression is.
I quote it constantly.
Okay.
And especially since we were filming around Christmas, it was kind of a thing.
Right,
Shelby
very
and I
fitting.
were right on it.
That's true.
I could definitely do it for you. The ladies, you brought this on me.
Okay.
I'm wondering which one I should quote. I have the Jajajash, or I have
I'm sorry, the what?
song,
The what?
you know, like You're a Mean One. Oh my god, I think I'm frozen.
No, I can still see you.
I think it should be Jazzle Sauce.
yeah.
Okay, so there's like 12,
No.
13. Josh. 12:30, loathe and self-hunger. And then there's, I can't remember the whole quote right now. And then it's, I can do the song.
Okay. Now, do you need a moment to prep, or do you just need us to be quiet?
No. I have it ready to go at all times.
At all times, just bust it out. It's the thing. Okay. The true side of a performer. All right. We'll be silent. Okay.
So you go like this, and you go, "You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as charming as a cactus and as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch." But I could also do other quotes. I can do Martha May. Martha May Houvier has the best lights.
I love it.
I could go on forever. I do like the one with the answering machine as well. I'll hunt you down and get you like a fish. But if you want to fax me, press the star key. Anyways, I can.
We could probably do Martha May back and forth.
I'm telling you,
I couldn't do that's like maybe the only impression I can kind of do is Martha May Houvier.
Martha May Houvier has the best place.
Well, let's see it. Let's see it.
I'm frozen.
No, you're good.
Good.
I'm frozen. Oh, what is, you start, which scene? Is it the one where she's on the roof? Or is it the kiss at Whoville?
No, the one where she's on the roof.
Okay, go ahead. Which one are you're gonna be? Okay, I'm Betty Lou.
Yeah, I'll be Martha.
All right, and
you start.
Action.
You start.
Okay, so I'm on the roof. I'm sorting through my lights, and then I go, Martha May Houvier has the best lights, but not this year. Next year, they're gonna be crying, Mrs. Betty Lou Who.
Hey, hi. Oh, I've never seen so many beautiful Christmas lights, Betty Lou. Look at this antique. Isn't it darling? It's be 100 years old. This, however, is new. These are all of the props I have on my dining room table. Christmas lights are now full on my house.
She's been like,
night, Betty.
She just that was it. That was the one.
Wonderful, ladies and gentlemen, and cut.
We weren't
yes, lock it. Send that to the dailies. That was amazing.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap right there, man. That's a wrap. The fax machine, the voice you had for that. I think that should just be when somebody calls you and you don't pick up. That should be you.
Should be your voicemail.
It should be your voicemail.
Yeah.
It should totally be your voicemail.
I still need to set up my
voicemail. Wait a minute. So you have one of those things where it's like, you've reached 55555. So you have no like voice that pops on, right? It's just like an automated thing.
Who?
Victoria, because she said she doesn't have.
Yeah, I haven't set mine up yet, so I definitely think if I do the hunt you down and gut you like a fish, and
yes.
If you want to fax me, press the star key. I think that would be appreciated by other people.
Oh my god!
All the facts.
Oh, that's so good.
That would be so good. That would be so good. Listen, folks, we are going to leave it there. We could talk to you ladies all night, but I mean, that's just a lot of fun. Stick around after so we can just kind of have a quick formal goodbye. But thank you so much for jumping on here. It's always great talking to you guys. I'm not just saying this because we're live and there's 140 witnesses. I'm saying it because it's true. Yeah. I do consider the three of you friends. You know, sometimes when you go through something as special as making a movie, you know, you bond and you grow and you make connections and friendships, and it was a great experience for me. I know that Bruce and I often talk about it and how much we want to do it again. And so I value your professionalism, your friendship, and you guys look amazing on screen. We're so happy you enjoyed it, which is always great too. And thank you for coming on the show today and talking to myself and Bruce, and of course the viewers watching. And is there any last things you want to say to the people out there before Friday? Fax machine?
Fax machine. Yeah. If you want to fax us, press the star key.
Yeah.
Kidding. Really excited for you to see it. It's gonna be great.
Fax me your review.
Fax me the review.
With the star key. What you think?
That's it. That's it. So fax Victoria your review, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Shelby, any last things you want to say?
Thank you guys so much for coming. This has been great. So many fun and interesting questions. I hope that you guys are as in love with this film as we are.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope so too.
I
hope
Fingers
so
crossed.
too. Fingers crossed. I hope so too. Malaika, any last things you'd like to say?
No, this film was perfectly splendid.
Oh God, there it is.
Perfectly
Of course.
splendid.
Perfect. I'm gonna have to look this up now because I've never watched an episode.
Highly recommend.
I'm totally.
It's
I'm
a
looking
vibe.
it up. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
vibe. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
And if Emma, our amazing production assistant, were here, she often says, "Are you feeling good? Like you know you should."
Yeah, feeling good like you should. That's right.
That's right. Shout out to Emma for that. Amazing guys. You guys are amazing. You know that. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And just a couple more days. And this is myself and
This is
Bruce. We're like taking like the weekend off. We're just gonna be like monitoring everything and seeing how things are. And I'm sure you guys will have your ears to the social as well for that, or your eyes, I guess I should say. Thank you to, of course, my moderators, Frank Reicher, Tabitha Short, Darren Sands, and Chris Baber for doing what you guys do and keeping the chat room flowing. I really, really, really appreciate it. And thank you to all the super chat questions that came in today, the non-super chat questions that came in today. Remember, if I didn't answer your question, it's never personal. I think we peaked at over 165 people in the chat room today. So there's a lot of movement in the chat, a lot of things going by. And, the great thing about this channel is that I'm always thorough with my answers, and the ladies are thorough with their answers as well, as is Bruce. So it's never personal. Stick around. They will be back on the show again for sure, and we'll get them on again after the movie is out, and then we can talk spoilers, and we can talk all the juicy nitty-gritty details. Really talk details.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Which you don't usually get when actors are marketing their movies. They go on before the movie comes out and they never hear from them again. So, it's kind of way to. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you for coming on. Stick around. I'm going to go over to the Patreon card here. And folks, It's Me, Billy drops Friday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before you all go, we are dropping it both on YouTube and Vimeo. The reason for that, we will make this announcement towards Friday as well. But now that I have you here, before you guys go and click away, we are dropping it both on YouTube and Vimeo, primarily because YouTube... we want another option to view it. On YouTube, films tend to suffer from YouTube's compression. Our movie has a lot of dark imagery and a lot of dark scenes. And so if you are planning on watching It's Me, Billy on a big smart TV or a big projection screen or whatever, we recommend Vimeo. Okay, if you're just going to watch it on your, on your phone or your tablet or your laptop or something, YouTube is fine, not a big deal at all. But we just want people to have an option because of YouTube's compression. But also remember, if you are watching it on Vimeo, don't forget to go back to YouTube and give it a thumbs up if you liked it, of course, and leave a comment as well, because that would be nice to get your comment and your thoughts there as well if you're planning on doing that. So you will have options, which is always great and cool. So just a reminder for that, but we'll make that announcement again towards the end of the week so people are aware of that. Ladies, thank you so much. Bruce, I was about to say my mother from another mother, my brother from another mother. Thank you. I don't know why.
I can act too. It's all good. I'm a versatile performer. I can play different roles. Nobody's seen that side of me yet.
That's true.
It's the next step of my career.
That's true. That's true. You get the prosthetics on and everything. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your Tuesday evening, and enjoy. I may be back Thursday with MCRAE Live. I'm not really sure yet, but if not, enjoy the movie. All righty. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
Take care, everybody.